Hello, welcome to the Daily Loop. Right, I can see we actually managed to play one of our youth matches the other day and we won it, but this one unfortunately was resolved without us and looks like we lost it. We were looking, because I think our youth did pretty good. We did play most of them a bit, like in the background a bit in the first week, and did really well. Got a bit complacent. I would say we're probably going to have to just focus a little bit more on it. We've been focusing predominantly on our senior league this week and been playing these matches, and these ones we've kind of just been sort of leaving or not really paying attention when they're playing whilst we do other stuff. Again, it's just a time thing. We don't have time to do everything, but you can see the stark difference in form between the two pretty much. Anyway, just say this because I noticed when we log in we lost that match. Right, transfer bids, we don't have any. Go on to academy trialist. The shot positioning, okay, it's pretty good, 48. Endurance, it's only 16, not ideal. Aerial ability, 53, that's very good. Vision, only 16. Endurance, only 4. Only 13 natural fitness. So this would be definitely a centre half that would have to only ever be on the bench, which is not a problem per se as a career bench central defender. I mean, at the end of the day, you're always going to want to have one on the bench. So the fact that you've just got someone who's locked down in that role is conceivably okay, conceptually. And endurance, another 60. We said before when you got the 3 60s in a row that we'd never seen 3 in a row like that. Just literally 3 in a row. But now it's 4. Like I'm fairly sure. Not only have we never seen that, but we will never see it again. And the real irony is that, obviously, not irony, but it's obviously possible that it may not end up. I can't help but to think with all those 60s, it's got to be useful somehow, but we'll see. Unfortunately for us in our sort of possession retention type of tactic, like the passing is kind of going to be a deal breaker. Like if that's really high, like 60, let's say, or 58 or whatever, like you probably can make him work whatever else the other attributes are. But if that's really low, it's going to be really hard to make that work for us, to be honest. Right, so there's another DC here who's got 58 marking, 60 tackling. That's been cycling around and nobody's taken yet. This is pretty interesting. Only 9 determination. But yeah, we might have a look. Possibly we get him in. We'll see if there's anyone else to even consider. This is another pretty good one. I think we would probably, if we're going to go, we'll go for this one. Out of the two, I think we would. 7 speed, it's really slow. I think 48 passing, not quite high enough for us. Only 24 passing. It's not. Right, this guy, I think we'll just pass. I think just some really low stuff, like really low control, 1 flare, obviously. Some of these attributes aren't that key, but there's too many things that are just too low, even though the 58 passing is very good. Right, yeah, so I think it's just this guy. It's pretty interesting because the aerial ability is like the last attribute, literally, to be revealed, so it's kind of going to be a problem if you wait till then. And then the other thing as well is that the speed is what, the 3rd last one? So that's kind of going to be a problem if that's really low. Or the aerial ability is really low. So I think the problem with this guy ultimately is just the, 2 of the last 3 attributes are kind of just deal breakers. Like if they don't work out correctly, like high enough, whatever, like you effectively just ended up with a player that's not particularly good. So it's pretty high risk. Whereas, let's say for argument's sake, this guy, like the last attribute is marking. Like if that's low, kind of isn't a deal breaker. Like, and the second last one is flare. Again, if that's low, it's kind of not a deal breaker. Now the tackling being low potentially could, but you are saying at least, oh no, the last one's passing. What am I talking about? So that's an issue as well, because we're saying basically that The passing is just going to be a deal breaker for him, and then it's also the last attribute to be revealed, which I've just realised now, so we're a bit slow on that. Now, having said that, I don't think I want to take him out for this central defender who's got 2 of the last 3, but it is something we need to bear in mind looking at other players. This guy's got the speed coming up next, which is good. This guy's got the passing, positioning. This guy's got the passing coming up next. So, right, who else? Speed coming up next. This guy has got the tackling, doesn't really matter, determination, movement, strength. Yeah, so the speed's potentially near the end, which isn't ideal for him either. Right, so we have a few that it's not ideal, to be honest. We've just been holding and holding, but the problem is, I think part of the reason why I've been holding this for so long is because quite a few of these, the key attributes that you're waiting for, are not until the end. But the only player I see in this list that we would really think about bringing in is this guy, and then he's got the same or even potentially bigger issue. I think the question is, do you move him in? I mean, I don't think so, just because this guy, you already know the speed, it's good. If the aerial ability is not particularly high, maybe you can work with that, because the speed is good. I'm inclined to just leave these again, but we do need to bear in mind that we need to be keeping an eye out for players I think we need to rotate out at least one of these players that we're just waiting till the end to find their attributes out. We can decide which one that's going to be as and when we find a replacement. And to be honest, it's like, we got 3 DCs here, so we kind of probably want to suckle one of those out. We've also got too many MCs anyway. So yeah, we'll see what the position is as and when we find the player. But for now, let's just go to scouter players. We haven't really found. Just quickly scanning these, it's pretty okay. We're generally pretty fast at doing this at the moment. Okay, so again, I think we're mostly in the market for the auction players now. And we just don't quite have the cash to compete. So anyway, yeah, I think we're okay. We're mostly okay with our team, I believe. Let's go to the training options. Alright, it's a pretty interesting choice, I believe, because it's like the speed, it's a 2-point swing in speed, 2-point swing the other way in agility. Definitely the speed is more important, I think, than the agility for us for this guy, but then I don't think we're too bothered about the movement, but it does matter a bit. It matters. And the finishing point matters, and the 2 dribbling points matter. But I think ultimately it's probably this one. On the balance, I think just that 2-point swing and speed matters more than the other stuff. And in both cases, it's like a +5 net attribute swing. So, yeah, I think the 2 points in dribbling, ideally you have, but I think on the whole, it's just this extra point in finishing, and the 2-point swing in speed is more valuable, basically. This is a more interesting one, because this one you get the extra speed, but then So it's like, yeah, I don't know what that is. What is it? Just quick counting. It was like 23 attribute points versus 17 or something. Is that right? 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. Sorry, 16? No, 17. 16. So this one's 16, and this one is 27. So it's like huge difference. 11 extra attribute points on this side. We do. I think the crossing doesn't really matter because he's an MC with how he is at the moment. Unless he becomes a wide midfielder, which he probably doesn't ever because of the low dribbling. So basically that crossing, so it's not really 27. I guess it's kind of pointless, that crossing. So it's more like 23, but it's still 16 versus 23. The vision matters. The 2 points in aerial ability, I suppose that doesn't actually matter either because it's so low anyway. So all of a sudden it's like it's not as extreme as what it seems, because basically you're really saying the crossing doesn't matter. You're saying the aerial ability doesn't matter because it's so low. He's never winning any aerial duels against anyone anyway, whether it's +3 or +5. So all of a sudden it isn't quite like that, right? It's like, well, I guess it's 2 vision, 4 natural fitness and an agility instead of 2 speed. And then you get the throw-in of the 2 aerial ability and the 4 crossing, which I don't think really matters, but you get that obviously. So 2 vision, 4 natural fitness and an agility for a player that is 16 and this is his first boost. So he is well, 60 is the most he can start at, and this is his first training boost. If he takes a +6, he's like maximum sort of possible speed he can have. So I think that's kind of a consideration as well. Yeah. And I think that combined with the fact that his passing's not particularly good anyway, I kind of feel like, I don't know where this guy has a future, to be honest. Because I feel like it's going to be, with this finishing in particular, it's going to be in a more attacking role. But ultimately the issue is he can't dribble. Anyway, I'll take this one. Honestly, I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. Probably the other one. But I think I've talked ourselves out of it just because once you say that the aerial ability and the crossing doesn't matter, I don't know. Even then, maybe. This is just so many extra attribute points on this side. I think we'll go for this one, and it gives a bit more diversity in regards to what might be possible with this guy. Because the issue really is I don't think he has any future anyway. So, guess we're better off. I don't think he has any future anyway. I just can't see us adding a position. I mean, he may get a position added naturally, but yeah, alright, so we'll go with that one. I'm still not quite sure, to be honest. I'm still umming and ahhing, because it's like, I think there is something to be said about having the maximum possible speed, because if you can maintain that, then being in a position where he is faster than everybody else on the pitch when he's in his prime, you know, if you want that could have some intrinsic value. Even then, not a lot if you can't dribble, to be honest. It's pretty hard, or tackle. So, I mean, you can tackle okay, you can't really dribble. So I don't know what all that speed manifests itself as what kind of advantage anyway, because if he's awesome at tackling, he'd be able to always chase down everyone and make a tackle, which has a lot of intrinsic value. Or if he can, you know, dribble quite well, then he can leverage that speed into, you know, break and clear potentially. He has got strength, but I think just the dribbling being so low is a problem. I don't know, talking myself back around the other way. To be honest, I could see you doing that one either way, but I think ultimately it probably doesn't matter for him because he doesn't really have any future anyway. I don't think. This guy, he has no future, so I guess we're just going to take this one because it's just bigger. I think I don't know what's better for him, for us or whatever, but he's not going to play anyway, so I think this one has the bigger chance to enhance his value a bit more. Supage. Yeah, so I think it's just this one. Like, all this stuff is better than one positioning, basically. This stuff being 3 vision, determination, and natural fitness. Okay, this is a type of boost I think we wanted for our keeper. Agility. We care about that. We care about composure. I think it's this one. I think just all this stuff. The extra command of area, the 1 extra composure, the 2 extra agility, and the 2 extra penalty stopping is worth better than the 3 distribution. Right. So +6 speed and +5 speed. Same. This one's got a whole bunch of extra flair. This one's got a whole bunch of extra crossing and finish. I think it's this one. Just because you don't really, as a centre half, you don't care about the crossing. The finishing's interesting because it's reasonable level, so it does make a difference. But I think on the whole, it's just might as well get the extra speed basically, and then I don't think the flair matters too much, but it is 4 extra points in flair. So now this player, we want the extra tackling, the control. I guess yeah. You lose the work rate, not that big a deal. It is a case though, 2 extra marking and 2 extra composure. So this side you're getting +5, this side you're only getting +2. But interestingly, I think we're going to take this side because I think the extra tackling and I think the extra control, we typically, when he does play, he plays as a deep line playmaker. So these attributes in particular are kind of important. Alright, we want the tackling because he's a central defender, but they're both +2. Other than that, we want the marking, they're both +2. Right, so basically, that's pretty interesting. So we can either get dribbling and a flair, or a bunch of endurance. The fact that the endurance is so low, I think, puts a bit of extra value on all that endurance. The fact that the dribbling is pretty reasonable also puts a bit of extra value on the dribbling. Which is interesting. So, and then if he's dribbling the ball, then the flair also matters a bit more. Right, I guess we're going for this one. I don't really know. That's the thing. He's not really ever going to be... I don't know what he's going to be, to be honest. It's a tough one, because I just don't really see... Because he can't pass or finish. Or really cross. So that's the thing. Even though he could dribble and maybe have high flair, the thing is, like, you don't really want him dribbling out with it anyway. Because there'll be no end product as a result of whatever he does. So you're never really going to ever try to do anything with that. So I guess it's this one with the extra... endurance is just better, especially when his endurance is so low. That could help quite a bit. It's hard because when you say it's so low, it's also so low that potentially doesn't basically ever help. Like, he can never start anyway. So, but I feel like he potentially can because he's got 46 snaps. It's not great, but potentially he can get to half time and then like he could get subbed off around the 60th minute maybe. He could sort of last around then with this extra endurance, whereas without it he possibly can't ever start. So you can sort of get the half time hovering around 80%, maybe go on a bit below just before half time and then go back up and then last another sort of maybe another 10 minutes or whatever. So and then this guy, we care about the dribbling. I guess it's this one. Especially now he's also got right midfielder. Care a bit more about that dribbling. So looks like we have a wide midfielder, luckily, I think, for next season. So because I think in our youth squad is Lapatmentia 21, I think. Yeah, so he can now move into the right wing role next season, so that's good. Okay, so we're done. So I think, did we do all the training? I think we did. Yep. So okay. So thanks for watching. Catch you for the next video.